Hi, my name is David Jennings. I am part of UCD Teaching and Learning, and I want to talk to you just for a few minutes about a recent Erasmus project that we're now involved in. It's called Hybrid E. What I'm going to do is just share some slides and actually use those as a guide through the outline of the project. So Hybrid E stands for Higher Education Institutions Community for Blended, Responsive and Inclusive Digital Education. We have 4 partner institutions. We have University of Amsterdam, we have Aristotle Thessaloniki, and we have Royal KTH in Sweden, as well as ourselves here in UCD. In essence, what we are all about is trying to figure out what kind of learnings we can take from the recent COVID pandemic situation. What is it that you and I did as faculty and learning support during that time that might have been innovative, that might have been creative in responding to our learner needs? So to do this, we're looking at a number of different kind of elements. We're trying to figure out how people redesigned their teaching, how they actually kind of adapted in situ, and more importantly, what it is they've done since as a consequence of all of this, i.e. having experienced the COVID piece, what might they do going forward differently to support their learners? So part of the project is actually a simple desk review to gather information across the 4 institutions and beyond, and to map exactly what has happened. So we are looking at gathering case studies from faculty and learning support people vis-a-vis their personal experiences, their innovations and adaptations, as they say, within practice, but we're also kind of capturing the student perspective therein. Furthermore, what we're also going to do, and have already begun, is to create a digital technologies map from the 4 institutions. And this is going to enable us to do a couple of things. First and foremost is a simple catalogue of the technologies that are in use in any given institution. But what we're also doing simultaneously is capturing all of the resources and supports that are available for said technologies. So hopefully what we will have is a wonderful collection of potential technologies for use and rationale and supports and reasons for how it is you might use them to support learning and teaching. So the technology map, as you can see, is going to be visual interpretation. All of this is actually going to map into our community of practice. So we're going to gather these resources and we're going to create a series of hooks and interlinks between each of the institutions whereby we can actually figure out exactly, if I'm looking at video perspectives, what does my colleague use in UVA or Aristotle Thessaloniki? And if I'm using other kind of potentiality technologies, what other kind of resources are out there to help me develop my own perspective? And in doing this, what will actually hopefully enable us and indeed our community to do is to figure out what has happened and what it is that we can do going forward, i.e. to identify our own specific learning needs from teaching and learning perspectives. So yes, we experienced a major upheaval, a kind of flip in terms of our practice during the pandemic, but what is it that we now do? And more importantly, having experienced that, what is it that we'd like to do? What is it that we'd like to sustain in our practice and move forward? So hopefully these resources and these case studies will give us an opportunity to reflect and to elaborate on our own foresight initiatives, to experience what it is we need to sustain our practice into a new era of digital understanding. So in terms of the project itself, we are already up and running and doing our data gathering and consequently also looking at the resource identification, what materials are out there. What will eventually happen is that there will be a series of localized training events in every institution, and indeed the possibility and potential for companion participants to travel to said institutions and support their colleagues in a further field. All of this will eventually kind of map to what we call multiplier events, whereby we will disseminate the broad set of findings, both the tool sets, the mapping, and the resources and the foresight opportunities therein. And the end game, of course, is in terms of digital output, we will have the technology resource map, we will have a virtual community of practice that will be housed in a Moodle site, and hopefully will actually be live and kicking and enable people to kind of meet up and chat about particular perspectives. And then the entire project will be captured in a virtual and digital dynamic handbook, capturing all the resources and materials in one event. So If you are interested, challenged, or rise to the challenge, please don't hesitate to contact us and reach out. Our website is just about to be up and running, but you can contact any of the institutions directly, and indeed you can contact the representatives like myself, David Jennings, here in UCD. Thank you very much. I look forward to hopefully meeting you in future.